Again, to have a very short presentation of the outcomes of the different streams, different breakouts. And I would suggest that the 1 or 2 persons from each group will come all together on the stage. So we have 4, 8, 12 people here, grouped by group. You were in group 1? Yeah? Yeah? It doesn't really matter because they're the same, but okay, great. So you're from group
3.
3, group 2. So group 4, still working very hard? No? Okay. Great you're here. Okay, he will come. Shall we do it the other way around? Start with group 4? No?
Yes.
Yes, please. I'll give you the mic. We have about 20 minutes, so it's 5 minutes each. Can you put that on? 5 minutes? Yes, please. There's 2 mics.
Where is our group? Oh, without or without? Okay.
You have to do it by heart.
Okay. My name is Paola Ravenna. I work for the city of Venice, Italy. And in our group, we finished because the time was finished, but we were still debate about what the protocol, city protocol should be. And we pointed out 5 main findings. One is, the first is, should design an urban model, or is more the taxonomy and tools. And I have to say first that as a city, I and my colleague at least, we didn't point it out exactly what does it mean taxonomy for working for the city and put it all together. But the debate was long and we found it that an urban model should be founded by the city protocol, at least what we want to reach in some indicators and measures as a cities. The second one was, for sure, the protocol will allow cities to exchange use cases, so talking about this, talking the same common language, we can share cases, not only best experience, but for sure use cases, and in different areas and services. And then it's for you.
Yes, we think it's very important to include in the city protocol measures for how are we doing things. So it's the only way to see if we are going for the right path. We think that open data for integration and transparency is a very important issue because the discussion was very hot, I should say, about the information is in the government hands or in the company's hands. And we think that open data is a very, very important issue that should be addressed in this city protocol. Another topic that was mentioned was the citizen involvement, because what we are going to do here must include the final user, I should say, the citizen, and the way the relationship that the citizen with the city, with the companies is very important. Yeah. So, do you have any questions?
Could you introduce yourself?
Oh, sorry. My name is Javier Ordóñez. I work for Quito City, Quito, Ecuador. So, glad to be here.
No questions? Okay, thank you very much. Great story.
Number 3, you start with it. I just need to look at the chart, if you don't mind.
This one?
Yeah, this one. Thank you very much. My name is Srinivas Chari. I come from India, representing a civil service academy, but work very closely with cities, particularly Hyderabad. The group had extensive discussion in terms of what a protocol should produce, what it should contain. I think one of the primordial theme that emerged in the discussion is that any protocol should be citizen-centric. It should have benefit to the citizen. At the same time, citizens' participation is very, very critical. So I think one of the common theme, when we will see a number of pointers, is about citizen-centric focus. It should be the key aspect. The second important theme that emerged is about integration issue. This city is very fragmented, it often in silos. So a city protocol should enable integration, and it has to be dynamic. It's not just, one of our colleagues said, it can't be a static KPIs, but it should have a dynamic process in place. And for that, integration is very, very important. And it should also have a framework wherein different actors collaborate and cooperate, and that's one of the important issues that emerged. The methodology should be more on a cooperative model, wherein different organizations. So the methodology issues that enable cooperation is another important discussion point. There are also a couple of other issues that came up in terms of the city protocol should also have technology guidelines. There are different views on this, but this came as a discussion point. There should be specific technology guidelines as a part of the protocol, failing which we may have a wrong choice. Cities may make a wrong choice in this. And issues of benchmarking, collection of best practices, these are all the discussions that came up. I would leave it to my colleague to pick up things and further elaborate.
Thank you. My name is Antonio Marquez. I come from the company ETRA, so we do the stuff smart cities are made of, sort of. I think that the discussion has been very interesting because we came to a sort of a two complementary perspectives. On the one hand, the vision, which maybe came more from the cities. So there was really a target, a horizon we wanted to reach to. But then at the same time, we were defining, following up the example of this Chinese tale, this first step to start our journey, which very specifically, which should that step be? So what we have been discussing with respect to this matter has been the need of having indicators, the need of having specific targets. I mean, if you don't have a target, if you are not able to measure what you are doing, then don't expect anybody putting in money for you. Another thing that we thought was very important is to prioritize both in time, so that we have, let's say, a roadmap, which of course can be customized for different cities, but in any case, each city should have a timeline in which to carry out their work. We should also be able to prioritize in terms of subjects, in terms of issues, applications, sectors which need to be addressed. One of the conclusions was that not everything is equally important in all cities. There may be issues like mobility or energy, which may be more relevant. In other cases, those may be others. But I think that that's a useful outcome which can form part of the protocol. There was another issue very important with respect to the financing. So it's very important, let's say, from two perspectives. First, how we set up the whole thing. Where do we get the money from to set up a development, an infrastructure, an operation? But then once we have been able to set it up, how we ensure its sustainability and its continuity a long time. And of course, to do that, we need a business model. It's another, I'm sorry to use another buzzword of today, but that's what we think we need. And I think that was mostly, let's say, combining the vision with very tangible, very practical, very measurable steps which can be planned and which can be measured and which are capable of being carried out. Thank you.
No questions? There's no questions? Did you ask for them?
Of course, please.
We're very open to any question you would like to. I guess not. I guess people understood the story. Thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon. My name is Ana Garcia, and I work for the European Network of Living Labs, so representing a huge network of living labs, and many of our members are cities, and cities that try to work with this model that we are discussing today, with a multi-stakeholder model. So we will start describing what has happened in our group, talking about the process, because we experienced during our discussion. Actually, we discovered this morning about being one of the impediments of this city protocol, and our group had a huge amount of people from different countries representing different stakeholders. So it was a very difficult discussion with a lot of positive energy, but also some skeptical opinions. And it was kind of frustrating, but at the very end, I think the outcome was very, very positive. And now we will start summarizing our top 4 findings.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Genaro Pena, and I'm working for SAP. I'm going to describe what are the 4 elements that we have, after 1.5 hours of discussion, we have identified as being the key inside the city protocol that we are talking today. So the first one has to do with indicators, with standards, with open data. That's something that came up at the very beginning. I think Mr. Oriol was presenting this, and it was identified as one of the important elements that the city protocol has to do. So there has been discussions around what to include in these KPIs, what sort of standards. So we have discussed about technical standards, about performance standards. So clearly this has to be one of the elements that the city protocol has to include. And of course, everything around the open data, the way we manage the data in a city, the way we manage the data inside the government and from the government to the citizens. There must be an effort to get this data and make it publicly available, to increase transparency and to generate kind of movement towards the implementation of these protocols that we are talking about.
Our second finding was very much related to the citizen and communities engagement from mainly 2 different perspectives. The first one is how can we be concrete enough to actually provide some understanding of what is the city protocol in a way that our citizens understand what we are talking about. So we talked about the need of actually having a portfolio of services, use cases, something that is actually understandable by our community, but it's also the other way around. We need to find tools to actually integrate the social aspect, the opinion of the citizens, to measure actually the social impact in our protocol. So that was a very important aspect of our discussion as well. And moving from here, our third finding, it was very much related to experimentation. So we need ongoing experimentation of what we are defining in way of projects, pilots, and different ways of experimenting. So we really need cities engaged, able to have an ongoing experimentation.
Okay, and the 4th element is, of course, the governance model. So there must be an effort to define what are the roles inside the city protocol, who owns the processes, who is accountable for what are the processes, and how are we going to control them. And there's been a lot of discussions around this topic of governance, so including what should we do with global rules versus local rules, and how to integrate those. Also between how to integrate the governance around the city protocol and the governance in a city itself. So maybe there might be some conclusions coming from the city protocol that could be proposed to the cities as a way to improve the way they offer services to the citizens. So it was a very interesting discussions for this fourth topic as well. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Those are the 4 steps. The remaining question, I don't know if somebody has a question. Okay, so the remaining question from our group is, who is the target? So there was one comment from a sales guy that was selling, who should I sell this to? So should we sell it to a major? But then the major is only 4 to 6 years in the position, but we actually need somebody that gives a sustainable vision to this whole city protocol. So who should own that? Who should we target to? Who should we convince that this is something really that deserves focus and attention?
Okay, thank you very much. I will come to you. This is a very good question. And I think in your personal action plans or next steps tomorrow, you can do it in an individual way, because there will not be a general answer to the question. Yes? So we'll take it into account tomorrow. Final group. Here you are.
Hello, I'm from city of Yokohama. Actually, we have the office in Frankfurt, so I come from Frankfurt. So group Group 1, talking about the what elements or issues has to include city protocol, and so we have the actually 6 points, but I would like to explain first step. So we would like to talk about which should the first step to think about. So, and the first step, different pains and missions. Actually, lots of cities has own problems. So we think we are not just only one problem. So we have to share the lots of pains and also missions, like climate change on the sustainability and infrastructure of the water and the sewage. And the second step, workspace to share experiences and knowledges, because we are gathering this kind of huge meeting. So this is a good opportunity to share the information and the solution of the own city's problem. So we're talking about lots of things, yeah.
Thanks. Good afternoon. My name is Linda Chandler, and I'm an enterprise architect with Microsoft. So there was some lively debate in our group, and I think we started to get into the city's position and the other organisations' position very well. So actually, when we started to talk through the first 2 points, we started to say, well, hold on a minute. I think this is the way we always approach this problem. We're always saying, well, you know, these are the pain points, and we need a space to discuss those. And so the organisational people said, you know what's really missing is this whole definition of a city model. How can we even start to have that debate if we really don't speak the same language? And the example was given about mobility, and our SAP guy said mobility means handheld devices, but you could mean trains. So we really need to have that common language. And then this idea about whether we have this kind of top-down or bottom-up approach. And so, you know, we need to define that very top-level framework, but we also need to establish any good practice and projects that are going on and map them into that framework from the bottom up. So we shouldn't be too prescriptive in that regard. And then we came on to talking about, again, standards and indicators that we've been talking about a lot, and the fact that we do need these, and there are an awful lot out there, and it's about, again, harmonising where those come together. But it's not just about the outputs, it's about the outcomes for our cities. And we really, again, need to have that long-term versus short-term view of how we're really measuring the success of our cities in that case. And some of those may lead to certification in that regard as well. And then we started again to talk about the business models and actually how do we establish the business models in different disciplines and as for the city as a whole. And that's both in kind of pre-procurement models and actually about methodologies that follow on from those business models. And then we talked about governance and again, you know, how we actually govern the city protocol and how those projects and products actually map through. And there was a lot of lively debate about, you know, standards and innovation and which came first. It was very kind of chicken and egg debate that we started to have. But I think we thought that, you know, there's been a lot of talk and discussion and action around cities that we thought we had a good body of knowledge from which to start. But primarily, we thought the city protocol itself could actually focus in on defining the city model and the language so that we can have that common conversation. Then around the standards and the indices, and especially then around the business models. And we thought that they were the three focus areas for the city protocol.
Any questions? If not, thank you very much, all of you. Shall I take this? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, just some final things. We have done a really hard work today. Thanks to the facilitators for doing, let's say, drive us to deliver all these content. For your information, they will continue tonight to come to some conclusions, and we'll build on that tomorrow morning. And the idea is that we continue the work tomorrow in the groups as we were today, but we'll see that tomorrow.